Good morning, and welcome to another episode of A Moment of Hope with Upward Transitions. Our guest today is Salvador Ontiveros, President and CEO of the Latino Community Development Agency here in Oklahoma City. How are you this morning?
I'm doing great, Connor. Thank you so much again for the invitation.
Thank you so much for making time to talk to us. I really wanted to talk to you. Can we start with having you tell us a little bit about yourself? How long you've been with the agency?
Sure. Well, I've only been with the agency since August, so I'm relatively new to the position. But I grew up in Southside, Oklahoma City, right up the street here on 33rd and Walker. And through my upbringing, I spent a lot of time in my dad's shop. He was a carpenter, and my mother worked in Oklahoma City Public Schools. And the thing that I think my parents taught me the most was how if you work hard enough, you can accomplish the goals that you set forth, right? And so my dad, I remember growing up, I spent a lot of time in his shop, Christmas breaks, summer breaks, fall breaks, all these breaks. There was no break for me. I spent a lot of time working with him. And, maybe at the time I felt a little, I don't know, resentful, I guess. Like, why can't I hang out with my friends? Well, I found out now that I have 3 sons of my own, I understood what he was doing. He was keeping me busy and out of trouble, because if you don't keep your kids busy, if they have too much idle time, they're going to get into trouble. And so, now that I'm older, I'm able to fix things in my house, and I gained some skills, right? My mother gave, right before I went to 6th grade, my mother gave me a violin and said, "Here, mijo, play this." And she got me a couple of lessons, and then I auditioned to play music at Classen School of Advanced Studies. And so I think that's where things really started to, fall in line for me in terms of my education and my ambitions to do things that were, maybe not something that was, common where I grew up in Southside. So I think that that really was a big influence for me to pursue, a bigger goal than perhaps, was expected of me. Throughout my high school years, I spent a lot of time volunteering at different nonprofits, but specifically at LCDA, at the Latino Community Development Agency. I spent a lot of time here, volunteered as much as I could. And through the connections of the LCDA, they introduced me to a college recruiter at Oklahoma City University. And they ultimately offered me a full ride scholarship to OCU.
Wow.
Yes, I'm so grateful to this organization. I met my wife through one of the programs here at LCDA. And so, this organization means the world to me, gave me opportunities that I could only dream of. And for me to come back 20 years later and contribute to my community in this capacity, it's an honor for me. I still pinch myself a little bit, like, oh my gosh, I cannot believe that I get to come back here and do what I love, which is help my community, right? And so, that's a little bit about me. I mean, I can talk all day about me. So,
well, I understand you have a pretty strong leadership background.
Sure. So, well, I might be dating myself a little bit here, but I think that in high school, kind of my first introduction to, a real job. And what I mean by that, I worked with my dad, but I was the I was the boss's son, so that's a different that's a different environment, right? But my first real job, if you will, was Radio Shack. I was a salesman there, and it was very, for me, I knew that I wanted to go to school for business, but in order for me to be successful in business, I needed to learn how to communicate. I had to learn how to sell an idea to someone, right? It's important, for the success of an organization to not only administratively take care of the business administratively, accounting, operations, systems, but also being able to convey an idea and get people excited about what you're doing, right? And for me, it was through this job, this Radio Shack job, that really helped me mature in a lot of ways, but it helped me grow into the person that I am today. After that, I had a short stint at a bank. I was a teller, and I was a new accounts manager, and I kind of started dipping my toes into the lending side of the business. But my heart really was in nonprofit. Because of my internship. I had an internship here at LCDA growing up, and I got to see people enjoy their jobs, right? Helping other people, right? And then I found out that they actually got paid to do it. I couldn't believe it. I mean, you get paid to help people? Is that real? And so
Yeah.
I was hooked. I was like, this is what I want to do. I want to help people, and I want to build a career doing this. And so I started. I was offered a position at a small nonprofit here in the city, ORO Development Corporation, as the assistant finance manager. And I learned the accounting of nonprofit. Right, day one, and it was a lot of work, and I learned a lot of great things. They promoted me to finance director at a really young age, and I really learned the in and outs, the inner workings of a nonprofit, and how important it is to ensure that those details, the administration of an organization, how important it was. After that, I did work at another nonprofit for a short stint. I opened up a restaurant, Plaza Mayor, which used to be Crossroads. I was doing that and working full time, Kana. That was.
I did not know you did that.
I learned a lot. I feel like I earned a second MBA, working having this business. I also had an accounting business, a bookkeeping service that I operate, and I had a handful of clients. But I think that my biggest opportunity in the nonprofit world, up until before this one, was I was hired as the director of finance and human resources at Oklahoma Contemporary Art Center.
Yeah.
And so I joined the team in 2016, and we were still operating out of the fairgrounds. And so, Kana, we had 13 employees, okay? And so I was in charge of finance, accounting, human resources, IT, and operations, right? No big deal. It was 13 people, it was not a big deal. But then we started a capital campaign to build a brand new facility on Northwest 10th. Have you been to Oklahoma Contemporary, Kana?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Yes, we've had our board meetings there.
Oh, wonderful. That's my building. I know a lot of people helped build that building, but to me, I'm just so very proud of that accomplishment. So we started the $30 million capital campaign, and very quickly we grew like crazy. We went from 13 employees to almost 100.
Oh my gosh.
We tripled our budget. Okay. And then we built a state-of-the-art $20 million facility in downtown Midtown Oklahoma City. And it was definitely one of those opportunities that I think back, and I'm just so grateful for that experience. And there was a lot of there was a lot of sleepless nights. There was a lot of like, oh my God, like, is this going to work? And
But
um,
amazing accomplishments, amazing work there.
yeah, and I'll tell you as well that our original, we were supposed to open that building and have a big celebration March 2020. So right before the world kind of shut down, we're supposed to have this grand celebration, and we had people visiting us from all over the world for this opening. And I was sitting at home on Wednesday evening, watching or wanting to watch that Oklahoma City Thunder game that ended up not happening because COVID-19 hit Oklahoma that night. I went to
Mhm.
work the next day, and the staff and I, we kind of were like, okay, what do we do, guys? Like, do we stay open? Do we not stay open? Well, we decided to postpone the opening, maybe a week or 2 weeks until things kind of, improved. Well, we all know what happened there. we
Yeah.
we did not open for months, and even when we did finally open, it was very limited. It was very limited ticketing. So anyway, it was tough. If I'm honest with you, I think a lot of us we mourned because
Mm.
I mean we worked so many years to see this building open its doors and us share all the work that we've done with our community, with our family, with our friends. Like, look at all this, the cool thing that we did here, and we didn't necessarily have that experience, but it's okay. The building is up and going, and the people that we have over there is just wonderful. And Kana, I could have probably retired there. I really enjoyed working at Oklahoma Contemporary. I was very proud of the work that we did there, and just our openness to invite different communities from different backgrounds, different just it was such a wonderful place to um, expose the community to art. I mean, it really was. It's an amazing experience that I had there. But when your community calls and says, "Hey, we see the things that you're doing. Is there a possibility or any interest in you coming back in and lifting this organization to the next level?" Um, well, that's just not something you can turn down. That's
Yeah.
something that you absolutely jump to, and I'm just so very grateful to my board for the opportunity, and I'm so very grateful for staff. A lot of them have been here many many years. A couple of them been here 30 years, and
Wow.
they've been so great to work with. And just every time I have a conversation with any of my employees, their passion just jumps out of their chest, their heart. Like, they love what they do, and I'm so blessed to be surrounded by that every day. So yeah, I've had a little bit of experience here and there.
A little. Well, tell us a little bit about the LCDA. What type of services do you provide for the Latino community here in Oklahoma?
Sure. So our mission here at LCDA is to improve the quality of life in the Latino community through education, leadership, services, and advocacy. Okay. And our programs essentially are broken up into four departments. We have our treatment programs, which allows us to serve our community with bilingual therapists for drug and alcohol abuse, mental health issues. We have a domestic violence team that deals with these very tough topics sometimes. And one thing I can share with you, that very early on, while I was trying to get my feet under me, I participated in a group, a men's group, a batterers men's group. And I was sitting there, and kind of for me, it was such such a proud moment, right, for me, knowing that we provide this type of services to our community. I was sitting around the room with Latino men who were opening themselves up to the group, being vulnerable and sharing their struggles with the group so just just so openly, right? And I don't, in the Latino community, we tend not to talk about these things. There's this machismo that, kind of plagues our community. And for me, I felt hopeful knowing that there was a place where we can serve these men and help them get better, right? We also have health programs. So in our health department, we provide HIV and STD education and testing. Um, and um, and we have two locations, one here at LCDA at Southwest 10th, and another second location at Expressions. It's a shared space with Red Rock, and we provide those services in English and Spanish. We have Comprando Rico y Sano, which is buying delicious and healthy foods, I think is the best translation. And it's a nutritional program, right, where we teach our community members how to buy healthy food, how to cook food, these type of things. And then we also have diabetes screenings and just a variety of different offerings. We also put on 2 to 3 health fairs a year in the city, where we provide these services and more through partners to the community at no cost. So our last one was at Pete White Community Center down the street here, and I mean people were lined up, lined up since 8 a.m. And we were able to see, gosh, 250 plus people provided, like I said, all the diabetes screenings. We had a partner that did dental checks. We had a
Oh, that's great.
Oh, I mean, it was wonderful. We also had a Zumba instructor out there. We were dancing with the Zumba. Oh, it was a lot of fun, and everybody walked away with a box of food, graciously donated by Feed the Children. Everybody walked away with the box of food. So, um,
Wow.
yeah, it's a great way to serve the community directly. We also have a wonderful partnership with the Mexican consulate here in Oklahoma City, where we operate a health window there at their facility and provide services and education directly to our Mexican brothers and sisters. And so, great program and department there. We also have 2 childcare facilities, one here at Southwest 10th and a second location on 57th and Western. We serve almost 100 kids ages 0 to 5. And it's not just childcare. We like to say that we are developing children and preparing them for school, right? We have wonderful partners there with Sunbeam and Community Action, and so very proud of that program as well. And then prevention. Prevention is a department that offers 2 types of programs, all funded through the state. One is Parents as Teachers, and the second one is Safe Care. And essentially, what these programs allow us to do is to go into our clients' homes and provide education to the parents on how to be better parents, how to speak to their children, how to encourage them to learn and to develop their skills, the children's skills. And it's a beautiful program that has seen a lot of our community members succeed in life. Just very proud of that program. If I may, I have a real short story. Are you there? Okay, I'm going to keep going. If I may, I'm going to share a real quick story about this program. In that, that 20 years ago, we had a young Peruvian woman that came to LCDA to looking for support, looking for help. She had been hired as a maid by a family here in Oklahoma, and when they found out that she was pregnant, they decided to kick her out. Well, no friends, no family, nowhere to go really. She ended up here at LCDA, and we were able to, jump to her help to support her. We provided housing, we provided food, clothes, and prenatal care, right, for the baby. Once the baby was born, the services continued. We then offered formula, diapers, toys, and education, right? 20 years later, right before I started here at LCDA, that same woman came back to LCDA just to say hello, to say thank you. That woman is now happily married. She's working, and her 20-year-old son is a college student. So that is the impact that LCDA has on its community, and very proud of the work that we do here.
Sorry about my temporary dropout there, a little technical difficulty.
No worries.
Thank you for continuing to talk about the Latino Community Development Agency. What type of an organization is the LCDA?
So the question was how big is the organization? So we are currently I think the last count that I have is about 88 employees.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's bigger than I realized.
Yeah, that was something that I was not. I was surprised to learn as well. And they're all full timers. I think we're almost at maybe a little bit over 50 full timers, and everybody else are part timers and contractors. So a lot of our therapists, they're contract employees. But yeah, 88 is the size of the organization. It's crazy to think, and it's still not enough, Connor. Like,
yeah,
if we had the resources, if I could hire 10 bilingual therapists, I will today. Like, that's the need that we have.
How long has the LCDA been around?
So we were founded in 1991. We were actually housed in the old NSO building, Neighborhood Services Organization, and then we finally were able to spin off and took over the building that we're in right now, which is off of Southwest 10th, in 1993. So we've been around for over 30 years.
Wow. Do you know how? I'm sure you guys started pretty small and grew to the 88.
Oh yeah. The first grant that we received was through United Way. We got a whole $42,000. And at the time, we only had one employee, which was our founder, Pat Fennell, and she grew this organization to what it is today.
Do you guys have any, as an organization, any youth clubs that Latino children can join to participate?
So we absolutely. So I grew up in the Latino clubs sponsored by LCDA. I was actually the president of my Latino club. And, what I enjoyed about those programs was it allowed for a safe space where I could feel proud of who I am, and, hang out with people that we understood each other, and had a lot of commonalities, right? But for me, is also the exposure to what's possible. We would have speakers come in to speak to us about how they overcame the obstacles to become who they were. People that looked like me, wearing suits and ties and doing big things. It was incredible. And for me, a big turning point for me was when LCDA sponsored a trip to Austin, Texas, to participate for the youth. Right, it was a bunch of youth leaders to participate in. Back then, it was NCLR, National Conference of La Raza. It's now called Unidos US. And what that is, it was a yearly conference where we have business leaders and professionals and nonprofit leaders that would come together and share the work and the opportunities that they are sharing with their communities back home. And for me, it was life changing to see a ballroom, right, full of Latino leaders and business owners, again, suits and ties, and just doing big things back in their city. That it really sparked a fire under me. Like, we can do this. Like, we're allowed to go back home and serve and help our people. I'm in, and so. Unfortunately, the Latino clubs prior, because of COVID and all these things, the programs kind of haven't been funded for a while. Well, we have obtained funding for 2 years to revamp or relaunch our Latino Club initiative. It's our Latino leadership clubs. And we finally hired our Latino club coordinator at the beginning of the year, and he has hit the ground running. And he's making phone calls and meeting with school counselors and principals. And we've had some great meetings with Oklahoma City Public Schools. And so, yes, we are relaunching our Latino clubs. Hope come into a school near you. And then currently, starting tonight, we have every Monday night, we have STEM nights. We've partnered with an organization called Class Matters, and Dr. Darren Lampkin provides STEM education to youth from middle school to high school from 4:30 to 6 here at the Latino Agency. So we're really excited about this project. It was very successful last semester, and we're hoping to grow it even more this semester and into the future, right? And then once we kind of have some things in place, we want to start a mentorship program, not just for the child, the student, but also for the family. What is it going to take for these young people to be successful? College applications, talk about college applications, talk about scholarships, kind of include the entire family in the success planning of the success of the students, right? So that's kind of what we have going on when it comes to youth programs, and a lot more to come.
Wow, that's amazing. We certainly need that here in Oklahoma City, for the youth especially. What about for adults or for seniors?
So, yeah, on top of all of our programs for adults, we also have a senior program called Puerta de Oro. So Puerta de Oro was started by the wonderful Anita Martinez and her husband Jesse, who was just honored recently at our luncheon. And the idea behind this, let's call it program, was to give our seniors a place where they can spend time with other seniors, socialize. Anita would cook breakfast and lunch for them. They would have music, musicians come,
Oh,
and Anita would belt out these beautiful mariachi songs to her seniors. Growing up, I would come here and you would hear La Puerta de Oro, like the music coming from the second floor, like in the entire building. You can smell the food that's coming out of that space. It was just a wonderful, wonderful program. And so, you know, today who runs it is Bernie. And, we're again, COVID kind of slowed us down a little bit. So we're currently working on, growing that program again. We're working with different partners to provide more services to our seniors. And, for me, it's important to make this happen because, a lot of these seniors, they're pioneers. They 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 moved to this country in search of a better life and created the foundation in which a lot of us are still benefiting from, right? Like a lot of us are still standing on their shoulders. And so it's important to me that we honor them and that we provide meaningful programs so that they can live a high quality life, right? Full of friendships, full of happiness, and a good meal every day would be wonderful. So currently they're only meeting Thursdays, Tuesdays and Thursdays, but gosh, I'm hoping that we can expand that from Monday to Friday, 8 to 5. That's the plan.
that's so wonderful. That's such a great value that I'm concerned that the world at large is losing. And I'm glad you still have that value. Um, Now, do you guys offer any classes for adults or anything like that?
Classes for adults.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Community type classes, anything like
yeah,
that?
like a lot of our programs are geared towards adult. Our mental health programs, our our treatment programs, our health programs. I think that we have been in conversation with a few partners where maybe we can offer financial literacy classes and these types of things. But for right now, I would say our the programs that we currently have serve the adults, right, in our community.
What biggest needs you're seeing right in the community?
The biggest needs in our community, I would say, are going to be mental health services. Like I told you just now, I would hire 10 bilingual therapists today if I can find them. It's a big need in our community. It's something that is stigmatized. People don't want to talk about it. And, we need to be able to provide these, and a lot of times, life saving services to as many people as we can. I would say, like everything, resources are, not abundant. We have to fight for all programming dollars, on a year-to-year basis to grow and to continue the services that we have. It's frustrating when you develop a new program and it goes really well for a year, and then you run out of funding, and then it kind of all goes away, and you're like, oh my gosh,
Really?
such a great thing going.
Mhm.
What I can tell you is that there's a few programs that we still operate that we really don't have any funding for it, but the community needs it, so we continue doing it, right? And so
Yeah.
that's a struggle, when it comes to finding the dollars necessary to serve the community. And then transportation. I think transportation is a big one. There's times that I heard a story recently where we have a great partnership with OU Health. They operate an OU a pediatrics clinic downstairs. Okay, and I've been told that the doctors, after they see the families, they find out that they had to Uber here because they don't have a vehicle. Like they
Oh,
would pay for their Uber to go back home. You know, that's the situation. That's where we're at. And We're hoping to continue to partner with different organizations and maybe find a way to bus people here and back home. There's a lot of possibilities, but I would say transportation is also a big need, particularly here in Oklahoma because we're so spread out, right? Like
Yeah, we're a big city, just Oklahoma City.
yeah, we can hardly walk anywhere. So
Yeah. Wow. Well, can anyone volunteer to help out?
yes, so I just started in August, so we don't really have a mechanism right now to offer volunteer opportunities just yet. We're working on improving our website, and we're working on improving some of the processes and systems internally. And then once that kind of gets, to a point where, okay, now we can start a volunteer database, and we can start to reach out to people and say, hey, we have this event coming up on the weekend. Would you be willing to volunteer, etc. So right now, I would say just kind of keep your eye out on our social media pages, Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn. Anytime there is anything that comes up that we need volunteers, we will send out a message on that page and invite people to come that way. There will be an opportunity here soon for mentorships, to mentor students, helping them with their homework, etc. We have a grant that we recently given, that was awarded to us through AT&T for $27,000 to purchase computers for students who are struggling in school. And so, right. So we're excited about that program, and we want to, we're going to need, volunteers for that. But there's some other things kind of on the, there's other things that are coming that will definitely require the support of our community members. So
Anything on the horizon that you're excited about that you can share yet?
not that I can share yet. Not yet. But there's some big things. There's some big things that I'm very proud of, and I'm just so grateful for staff. I mean, their willingness, their excitement to continue to help our community members really makes this job fun, right? And it opens up the door for just unbelievable opportunities that I'm so excited to be part of.
How do people get more information? What's your website to start with?
Right. Our website is www.lcdaok.com or .gov. Either one works. And again, there might be some things a little outdated there, but we're working right now to revitalize that page.
What's the best way for people to contact you when they need assistance or they want to get involved? I would programs you offer.
Sure. I would encourage people to call 405-236-0701, or walk in, or reach out on Facebook, Instagram, all the socials. We have people monitoring those accounts at all times. And, it's difficult to be everything for everybody, right, Kana?
Right.
So the goal that we have here at LCDA is, if you call, if you come in, if you reach out and looking for something, a support or some type of service that we don't offer, right? We do partner with a variety of different organizations that we can share with you guys and ensure that they leave with something, right? We don't do dental work here, but we have a partner that does. We'll send you that way. We don't have rent assistance right now, but we have a partner that does, and so we'll send you that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We want to make sure that that people know that we want to help as many as we can, but definitely people will leave with something.
Is there anything else you like our viewers today to know about LCDA?
This organization means a lot to a lot of different people. And again, for me, it's just such an honor to be here. And I'm so excited about the potential that we have. 60% of students in Oklahoma City public schools are Latinos. 60%. That's a lot of taxpayers. That's a lot of votes, a lot of voters. That's a lot of potential. And
That's our community.
that's right. And we are in the prime position to support those young people, to support that community, to really be, the voice of a growing population. And so, yeah, I invite, other organizations, I invite other people to come be part of what we're doing. We have a luncheon coming up in September that we'll be sending information out here pretty soon. We encourage everyone to sign up and come and celebrate with us all the work that we're doing and help us honor the people that have helped us throughout the year. That's a big fundraiser for us. So we appreciate any support that anybody could offer there.
I want to thank you again so much for taking your time. I know you are completely busy. I actually didn't know how busy you are. And it is so nice of you to come and take some time and talk to us. And I hope you'll come back again soon.
Thank you, Connor. I appreciate it. Thank you again for the invite.
Have a great day.
Appreciate it.
And everyone, join us again next week. I will hopefully have an announcement up soon as to who our guest will be. But in the meantime, have a safe and happy rest of your Tuesday. Bye.